Hi guys, on this show we're looking at Hill, Tyler, Wright, Harris, Sanchez, Kelly, Ramar and Beck. We're looking at 1979's The Warriors.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of 100 Things We Learned from Film. My name's Planty, and can you count, listeners? I say the future is ours if you can count to 100 things!
Oh man,
so well
I'm another
rehearsed.
guy, and you just totally stole my line.
Yeah, whatever, dickhead. John, can you dig it?
Yes, I can. Can you dig it? Yes, you can.
Oh, excellent. Good work. So we are the podcast tries to learn 100 things from every film that we cover. This week we're doing something a little bit special. And when you do something a little bit special, you've got to invite on the daddy of the special cult films that everybody loves but sometimes doesn't always want to admit. It can only be Paul Payne. Hello, mate.
I am often described as very special.
You're often described as a cult, that's for sure.
Very special / needs, but yes, I'm very honoured to be back here again.
You've done more of these than anybody else.
I'm so honoured about that.
We could not pick anybody that we'd rather do this particular type of fucking grime.
Oh,
with
defo.
Than you. You are the first person we think of when we cover this kind of film. Which is either
I'm going to cry in a minute.
Positive or negative?
No,
I know.
that's everything I aim to be in life, to be honest.
Yeah. Any kind of hardship we're thinking you, Paul. Any kind of hardship.
Any kind of grimy
conflict.
shit.
Dirty, broken down cities full of scumbags. We think Milton Keynes.
Yeah,
And the next thing, of course, is
roll them on.
It probably helps. I do live in that kind of environment over here.
New town, my ass. Paul, tell the listeners where you're from, as if they don't know.
I'm from Milton Keynes, the city of dreams, a post-apocalyptic nightmare that is very similar to a lot of the films I love, and I think I relate to because of that. So,
it's no Bronx Warriors, that's for sure.
Bronx Warriors, that's on my list.
I bet you've got that.
I've got
if you
the trilogy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. You should join us on the Hallmark of Greatness. We've done the first one.
Have you?
We've got the further two.
So you
do.
tell
I'll
me.
send you the link, mate.
You tell me you call me up for grimy shit, and you've done Bronx Warriors without me.
No, not us, but the other podcast that I
sorry.
Guest host on.
You're cheating on me.
Hallmark
No.
of Greatness.
You're cheating.
We wouldn't have done that. It meant nothing to him.
Oh, Vienna. Paul, what do you do? Tell the listeners what you do other than watch shit football. It's always coming.
I make comic books in between watching grimy movies, but yeah, a lot of comics based on the things I love, like bootleg type comics, like based on things like Rambo and the Blair Witch and Cobra and The Shining and things like that, and Death Wish. So I'm on Etsy, Evil Genius Artworks, search that and come and see some of the stuff that I do, but I do it for fun, and it's coming out of a place where I just want to make the films I want to see in comics kind of fun thing.
Yeah.
And the stuff you do is great. I think John and I have had a couple of Rambos. For Christmas I got Rachel a Jason versus
Michael Myers here.
Paul, help me out. Michael Myers, because that's her kind of fandom. So that was really good, and you sent some fantastic stickers for. In fact, I can't show it on the screen because it's on the back of my laptop. John, you've got one in the house, a fantastic Paul Kersey sticker.
Yeah, marry me.
Blemo.
Love it.
So more on him later, I think. Probably.
That needs to be a bootleg comic. Warriors versus Paul Kersey. Death Wish.
Warriors X Paul Kersey.
Yeah.
Get them together, man. Get those guys together.
Apparently it was shown as...
You young pups have got away.
They are both in the same world, aren't they? And I think...
Of course.
When I was doing my research, that it was shown as a double bill in New York, which I think is the perfect New York double bill.
One, then.
Is that already gone?
Yeah, 1979.
Yeah.
No, it's fine. 1979. Yeah, it was one. Yeah. Good work, sir. On that subject, Paul, what film have you bought for us this week?
The Warriors.
The Warriors, which is... It's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't it beautiful?
But
it's something else.
I stipulated that it had to be the non-director's cut, but I believe both of you watched the director's cut. We've
let you down because, I said to you, I was like, mate, there's no way where I'm watching that director's cut. I've got the OG on DVD in my cupboard. And I then sent John a link because he couldn't find it online, and I went, there's one in the Glasgow Forge CX.
Yeah, and I ran all the way and got it.
All the way to Glasgow Forge CX.
150.
He sent me a picture, and I went, brilliant, it's the OG. And then I watched it, and then he watched it, and we've both watched the fucking 2005.
See, the thing is we could go down a whole rabbit hole with that straight away, because that was Walter Hill's director's cut. Obviously, he's the creator, but he always wanted those comic panels in it from the beginning, and the studio wouldn't fund it. But I don't disagree. I just think that they were done so badly in that director's cut, like so cheaply, and like on. Like,
it looks. Do you know what it looks like? It looks like a Scanner Darkly.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you like a Scanner Darkly, but I fucking hate it. I just never got on with it. It strikes me as the kind of film, Paul, that's right up there.
I do like that.
S list. Yeah, I thought.
But it came out in the 70s, and if those comic panels look like something from that era. And because that was his original vision, and who can argue with Walter Hill? That was what he wanted for it. And if they'd done it that way, but you could tell it was tacked on. I thought.
To my mind, draw them, show us some actual inked artwork.
Yeah.
You know, some pencil and ink artwork, and make it slightly different as well to what we've got, instead of just taking a screenshot. Yeah. And then kind of inking over it, which didn't work for me at all.
It just was lazy. Anyway, we went down a whole rabbit hole. I told you. But
I concur. Well, I think we concur, and I'm sure the listeners probably do as well. Listeners, if you don't concur, well then fuck off. No, then let us know. Let us know, because I'm sure. I'm sure if you've only ever seen that version, it adds decent.
It's really hard.
It used to be on YouTube, that version.
It's really hard to get the original version.
It's very much a redux job. It's like Star Wars 77. It's almost impossible to get Star Wars 77 unless you've got either the VHS or the DVDs that were released in 2002. Which Rachel always goes, why aren't we watching them in high def? I'm like, because I want to watch Star Wars 77. I don't want to watch all the crap was put in 97 by George Lucas, who should know better but doesn't. Anyway, they've got visions. They're visionary directors. They've got visions. You know, it is what it is. John, 1979? Question mark.
Yeah, 1979.
What else could we
What
have
a year! What a year! So we're going with some good ones. The Brood. Which you remember watching when I was young?
Cronenberg.
Cronenberg
about the weird little midget things, with albino midgets.
Early Cronenberg is brilliant, isn't it?
It really is. Escape from Alcatraz, which
that's good. No, I love Escape from Alcatraz. Oh, I'd love to do that as an episode.
Mad Max.
Escape from Alcatraz. Mad Max, the original Mad Max.
Yep. Apocalypse Now and Scum. Oh, I fucking love Scum.
Wow.
Man.
Have you never done Scum?
Apocalypse. No, we haven't. We've seen it. We've never done it.
If you never do Scum, if you ever do Scum and don't invite me, then we're finished.
Mate,
When
I think Scum, I think Paul Payne. There's no doubt about that.
There you go.
You are flattering me tonight.
There can be no doubt.
All right, you slag.
What a year, by the way. Apocalypse Now would take us 8 episodes to cover. I think.
Agreed. Quadrophenia as well. Jesus, there's hundreds
Oh boy! You killed my scooter! I think I might do that reference at least once a month, don't I? Sure I do. Anyway, by the by. Listeners, if you like what we do, give us a quid at patreon.com/100 things film, and we will give you a shout out. We'll also let you choose and choose one episode a month as part of the poll. Rather embarrassingly, I finally recorded the Romance in the Stone romance novel. John, I didn't say.
Did you do it?
But I did. It's in the Dropbox, by the way, right? It is Paul. So I set John this task of answering 5 questions as to which of these books, romance novels, were real. The worst titled romance novels I could find, which were real. Turned out all 5 were real. And in the end, like some sort of fucking smart prick, some big mouth smart prick, I decided to give the listeners the patrons the opportunity to vote for the one that they wanted to hear the most. And the one that they picked was Emily's Bejeweled Codpiece.
Yep.
Right, which turns out to be some of the worst written gay porn I have ever read. And I've read a fair amount of gay porn, mate. Just going to say. And I'm reading this out loud to the patrons. So, Paul, if you've got 2 hours spare and a quid spare, and you want to hear me absolutely fucking furious that I'm having to read this out, then head over to patreon.com/100 things film. And the worst thing is, I think I'm probably going to do the rakes one as well, John.
Yeah, get the
people
rakes
were
out.
really disappointed I didn't do the girl that meets somebody in a garden centre over the rakes.
Yeah, everybody loves a good rake.
Fucking hell. Anyway, if you just want to follow us on all the socials, and Paul's always kind of in and about that, it's 100 things film, 100 things we learn from film.co.uk, and that'll take you to all of our links and all the stuff that we're doing. I think Paul's probably just about regained himself.
Emily's Bejeweled Codpiece.
Let's get on. Emily's Bejeweled Codpiece.
Love that.
If I say the word cock again this week, I don't really know what's going to happen to me.
Too funny.
What a start.
Anyway. Right, so I'll start with this. 22 million off of a 4 million budget, which is fucking brilliant. 1978-79 money, isn't it?
Aye, well,
You can't argue with that at all. Right, we open on a night view of the Wonder Wheel at Coney Island.
Yep.
Great
still
opening
here?
shot.
Yeah, Cleon, who is not in this film, explains that the Warriors have been sent for a meet with gang leader Cyrus. We see the gang all in leather vests, get on the train, and I love the theme, by the way. The theme is just beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah,
beautiful.
So synthwave,
So clean.
awesome.
Yeah.
Do you know who wrote it?
Uh,
I looked into that.
Not the theme, but I have got some other stuff, so go for it.
Barry DeVorzon was the writer of
Okay.
that, who also wrote a lot of awesome music for another load of awesome films, Rolling Thunder. Have you guys ever seen that? That is like...
Oh, yeah, I've seen Rolling
yeah.
Thunder.
And played a game in the Spectrum.
What's it about Rolling?
Yeah, Rolling Thunder for the Spectrum. Yep.
V, The Final Battle, Night of the Creeps,
Yep.
which is a really good...
Yeah, Night of the Creeps is a great film.
And Exorcist 3, which I have a secret love for, even though it's
Is
bananas.
Exorcist 3 the one with the really scary bit in the hospital?
Is that the one with nurse? Is that no? Is that two?
Yeah, the one
Linda
with the
Blair
nurse
comes
is
back as an
Exorcist
adult,
2.
and it is a monstrosity, but I love it. But that's what I look for in
Your
films.
guilty pleasure.
That's
Guilty
another. That's a Blatty related one, isn't it? Blatty wrote that as well.
Yeah,
Flatty Jubes.
Exorcist 3. Yeah, I think he did. Yeah. Anyway, by the by, Walter Hill, of course, is this his best film?
48 hours.
Well, we really had a good time with 48 Hours, didn't we?
Yeah.
We did have a good time with it.
I've got a fact about.
Fighting the Warriors.
I've got a fact about that as well.
Okay.
Somewhere. David Patrick Kelly, he starred in that as well, and they had the same name, Luther.
Oh right, so
Just
he
ran
did.
out.
This is our third
Ludor.
Patrick
David
Kelly
Patrick
film.
Kelly. Yeah.
It's actually our 4th episode, of course, because we've done The Crow twice.
Yeah.
Because we
True.
ran out of films, because there's no more films.
They're all done.
Paul, what's your favourite Walter Hill? Is it this?
I think I'm going to have to go with this, but I do love 48 Hours as well. But he's done a lot of really good westerns as well that are really under the radar, like a film called The Long Riders, and he did a film called Geronimo, based on Geronimo as well. He's a proper.
Oh yeah, I've
Yeah.
seen that. I saw it was my research. I've not seen it.
But yeah, I'll go for this because it is just pure. It's just everything I love, really, and I just
I think so too.
like
Yeah.
doing the rewatch.
Right,
I haven't
yeah.
watched it for a few years, but doing the rewatch, I could. It's just from start to finish, cinema that
Yeah.
I love.
I tried to get Rachel to watch this about 2 years ago, and she just noped out about an hour in, and I thought it was a real shame because obviously the showdown, as brief as it is I think it's really tense. I still think it's really, really tense. And I think as soon as the Lizzies turned up, she'd have got something out of that. I guess the issue was there was no female characters.
Yeah, and the Lizzies they are strong female
Lizzies-
characters at that time.
Absolutely. We learn that every gang in the city is going to be there, and we see a few gangs interspersed here. I don't know what they're all called, so I've given them my own names. We see the Huggy Bears, the Marceaux,
Are they the mime
Doomsday
artists?
Preppers. They were, yeah. The Charlies in the Trees. We see the backs of these jackets, the electric eliminators. They look like they're off to play bowling.
No, I love those jackets. I actually.
I knew you'd want to.
Well, I was watching the video and I actually went on eBay and thought I forgot about how cool that jacket is.
I get one of those.
I'd be in there.
Just put an electric eliminators patch over your drive jacket. The Joey Tribbianis, I spotted them. And the one half of AC/DC's as well. I don't know what these guys are called, but listeners, if you've seen the film, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
So apparently there's 21 gangs in the source material from the book
okay.
by Sol Yurick.
And
including, and I very nearly did a quiz for Paul, because I assume you've not read the book, Paul.
No, but it's based a decade before, isn't it? I was doing a bit of research and it was like the
65.
Beatles and stuff was on the soundtrack because that was what was dangerous at the time.
And the quiz was going to be, are these real gangs or whatever? And when I was looking at the list of the gangs from the book, because I haven't had time to read the book, while I was looking at the list of the gangs, there was a such and such, the Irish gang, with long sideburns, and I just thought, look out, Itchy, he's Irish. It's just such a stereotype, but I guess it was the 60s.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean?
But
there was no dog gang.
Before I
There
forget,
was an Irish gang, but no dog gang.
Before I forget, I know the name of the mime artist gang because I researched it because
go for
they're
it.
the ones that stick out to me as. It's a bit like
Probably the second most homosexual looking gang. If I was gay, I would probably levitate towards those guys because I fucking hate Kiss. I mean, I don't, but you know.
they're known as the high hats, and I think that's why they wear the top hats. But there's actually a whole Warriors wiki about all the gangs, and it gives you. I think it's more based on maybe the game as well, but they are more. I would be in the hi hats because they're more into graffiti and street art above bopping, which is bopping in the Warriors world means fighting. But I don't think they'd last 10 minutes in a real gang world. Turning up there.
They can't escape. They can't escape from the cops because they're stuck in a
in a box. Oh no, I'm stuck in a box.
I did as soon as you mentioned they were called the hi hats, Paul. All I could think was Miller's Crossing. I'm going to give them the old hi hat.
Oh, that's an amazing film as well.
It's a great film. It's a great film. Anyway, I love the line, 9 guys, no weapons, just like everybody else. It's fantastic. Because I love this interspersed bit because you absolutely get a feel for what is happening and what's going down without being told. You literally just get a line here and then we see. And then we see for 30 seconds and you get a line. See for 30 seconds. It's really good.
But I think that is the comic book element of the film that people might miss. I think that's very comic book storytelling where you get a tiny piece of dialogue and then you get an image. So maybe that was the vision.
No, you've done well.
New York City in 1979, lads. What else happened other than obviously Cyrus getting shot? May the 25th in Soho, Itten Patz went missing at the age of 6. He was the first missing child to be on a milk carton.
What?
Yep. May 25th is National Missing Child's Day in the USA, as well as Michael Jackson's birthday. I mean, not really, but it probably felt that way for old MJ, didn't it?
Is that a missing child joke? I think
It was a child abuse joke, Paul. Yeah.
yeah, I thought it was. I've got it.
Just
The
anyway,
Moon Treaty. The Moon Treaty, boys, was signed in New York City on December the 18th, 1979. Amongst other things, it bans any military use of planets, moons, and stars. So no fucking Starship Troopers for us.
None. Aw, boo.
Another banger. You just.
Would you like to learn some more? The plan is for them to tag as they go, and Rembrandt is the artist of the group.
Yeah.
I love how very tiny he is. You know, because they're all meant to be young, and
Yeah.
I guess they are 70s young. I know I say this all the time. People will look back on pictures of us and go, "Fucking hell! I can't believe Planty was 65 when he was recording these. He looks at least 78." You know. But everyone is certain, because there's a bit where it's like, so what about this Cyrus? Oh, he's the real deal. So what about Cyrus? Oh yeah, I've heard he's done this. What about Cyrus? Oh, he's doing this. So
Yeah.
everybody's on board with this, and it appears the gangs wouldn't turn up if they didn't think he was absolutely the business.
The man.
Leader of the Gramercy Riffs.
This is yeah. Oh, absolutely, of the Gramercy Riffs. Yeah. This is based on, Paul, I know you said you'd got something on this, so I'll let you lead, but I've got a couple of bits, possibly.
Oh, right, it was based on Anabasis, which is a 7-book Greek trilogy about a bunch of guys trying to get across Greece. But yeah, 7 books trying to seize the Persian throne. So yeah, but then the original novel was based on a mix of that and a kickback against West Side Story, which the writer thought was not a representation of gang culture. But if you look at Warriors,
I mean, he's fucking right.
but if you look at Warriors, to be
he's
honest,
bang on.
if you look at New York gangs in the 1970s, there's no mime artists. So to be fair,
I know. Never seen anything.
the only thing that they did get right is kind of like they did wear jackets with their names on the back. That was the only thing.
Right.
But it's a pre-Google time, isn't it? Where you, I suppose you have to put together a story based on the things that you imagine and.
That's right. Prove it. You know, prove it.
Yeah, but I think that makes it all the better because.
Yeah.
If it was just a bunch of anonymous gangs, apparently some of them were real gangs in that scene, which I'm not too sure about. But it is epic, isn't it, with a crowd and everything.
Yeah.
But
it's huge. There's like 1,000 people.
it really
there.
brings it to life for a low-budget movie. But apparently they had to have real-life gangs involved to stop it going chaotic, which I read, but who knows.
I've also got something on that a little bit later, I'm sure. They're at Gramercy Park. It's jam-packed. Loads of gangs in all colours. Yep. Cyrus takes to this little rickety stage, by the way. Looks like it's going to go down at any point. And I'll do the full quote if you'll allow it.
Go for it.
I say the future's ours if you can count. Now look, here we have before us, we've got the Saracens sitting next to the Jones Street Boys. We've got the Moonrunners right next to the Van Cortlandt Rangers. Nobody is wasting nobody.
Peace and love.
Is a miracle. And miracles is the way things ought to be.
Why are you doing it in your Bronson voice?
I am doing it, I've just realised it. You're standing right now with 9 delegates from 100 gangs. There's over 100 more. We're stood next to the Bakers from Baker Street. I've set a little trap in a window. so he's gonna step on a nail. That's 20,000 hardcore members, 40,000 counting affiliates, and 20,000 more. Not organised, but ready to fight. 60,000 soldiers. Now there ain't but 20,000 police and Paul Kersey in the whole town. Can you dig it? Can you dig it? And Can You Dig It is beautiful.
Brilliant.
It's so beautifully delivered. It's so wonderful. And I think about it weekly, maybe even daily. Can You Dig It?
Yeah.
All the time.
It is. It's proper pop culture, isn't it? It's just.
Yeah, and I can't help think. I'm sure there's kids out, and I know I know we've got listeners younger than us. Have we? Fuck. I'm sure there's at least somebody out there that's. I know. Look, the youngest listener I know for a fact we have is Ali, who pays us every month, and Ali is, I want to say 26. Sorry, Ali, if I've added on years, but she gets the references because her husband's really fucking old. He's like 31. He's not really old today, but yeah. So, but like, are these references a thing? Are they? Because I know she's into anime and all that kind of stuff, and our younger listeners will probably be into things that we couldn't even fucking comprehend being into.
Yeah.
But are these references that have passed down from fucking, Gen X and early millennial to you guys, whatever you are? Millennials, whatever you are.
Scum, according to you, because you always call them.
Aye, scamenial.
I'm scamenial.
Yes. Yes.
I'm looking for my notes,
Anyway.
but I did look at the guy who played him, and I just thought that performance was just
Oh,
so commanding.
James Rimmer says it was so he got them all helped up that it felt at one point it was like a real scenario.
But
It was so
yeah.
good. But
Oh,
apparently,
right.
But he's-
he was played by. Apparently, they got a gangster or some
Yeah,
gang
I
member to
read
play
that.
the original part, but he disappeared when it came to shooting.
Yeah, they couldn't
Wonder
find
what
him.
happened.
He ran off with the money.
But I think
Cement boots smell like probably.
I think that's why it works so well, because he's kind of Shakespearean in his delivery, isn't it? He's proper like
Oh, he's so
theatrical actor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was really surprised when I researched him, because I thought he's bound to have been in loads of stuff with. He's
Yeah,
obviously
no,
quality.
he's
He's
not,
not,
no.
is he? I think he was
No.
like in the pilot to ER was one of his most notable things after that or something. It was just
Wow.
ridiculous.
Ooh.
I hope he wasn't the pilot in that helicopter that crashes in ER. That'd be a fucking nightmare.
Can you dig it?
Can you dig it into the ground? The gangs go crazy. So basically, his plan is for them to keep a truce and to work together, because easily they outflank the cops by like 10-1.
Yeah. There's now
Gangs love it.
36,000 cops in New York now.
Oh, is there really? Oh, good
Yeah.
work, mate. Yeah, fantastic.
And that was originally, they had a tagline on the poster originally, didn't they? Saying basically what you just said, that the gangs outnumber the police by whatever to one.
Yeah, and that's why they wanted
And
it
yeah,
banned.
and they wanted it banned because of the poster.
So they had to change the poster. Wow.
I think it still got out there. I had a VHS copy with that on, which I wish I'd kept, but don't have it
Shame.
anymore.
The gangs go crazy, and Cyrus is about to speak again when he gets shot by who? John?
Oh, that little rat T-bird.
He's off to get some car beers or whatever they call it. Shower
Smokes and road
beers.
beers. Smokes and road beers.
Smokes and road beers. Podcast favourite, of course, Michael Patrick Kelly.
Oh, he's brilliant.
Commando,
Love it.
the death scene.
Yeah.
Ooh la la when he
Remember I
dies.
said I'd kill you last. Yes, that's what she said. That's exactly what she said. I lied. Yeah. He is brilliant in everything.
Yeah.
This was his debut, by the way.
And
This was his
again,
film debut.
I thought I want to check
Yeah.
out his filmography, see what he's been doing, and it's hardly anything based on how powerful. Like in that film, every scene that he does in Warriors is just so magnetic, and he's
he's-
got
aye.
something. And you just think, how has this guy not gone on to do
Done
hundreds
more.
of films?
Yeah.
I tell you what we did do on Hallmark of Greatness, Paul, that you've probably seen. The Dennis Quaid film, is it called Dreamweaver or what? Dreamscapes? Have you seen that?
I haven't.
Where Dennis Quaid can go into people's dreams, and David Patrick Kelly's also someone that can go into people's dreams. And he's
Sounds
I
right
won't
up
spoil
my
too much for
street.
you, but he's the bad guy. It's from the 80s. Have you seen this, John? We had it is probably in the top 5 best films we've done on Hallmark of Greatness, which, as Joe and James will tell you, is
I was going to know that.
is not a fucking high bar, but this really is. He's really good.
What's it called?
He's fantastic in this. Dreamscapes.
Right.
Dennis Quaid and I keep calling him David. Michael Patrick Kelly. Is it Michael Patrick Kelly or David Patrick Kelly?
I thought it was David.
I think
David
David.
Patrick Kelly. I knew
David
I
Patrick
fucking
Kelly.
did that. It's Mike. I went Michael Patrick Kelly because it's the most Irish-sounding name I can think of that isn't Niall Moynihan. Only the Warriors appear to have seen him do the shooting, but the floodlights all come on and the cops arrive before anything can be done. Cleon, who's obviously the gaffer, tells the Warriors to run, as do all the other members. He says, "Run." He says something along the lines of, he says, "Run against the crowd." And I was kind of like, I don't think that's a thing. I don't think that's the safest way. So I googled.
Well,
Apparently, the best 5 ways to not get trampled in a crowd are to leave as soon as you sense the crowd getting too dense. So then they wouldn't dig it. Stay standing. Do not put a backpack on the ground. Okay. Lack of oxygen is the killer in crowds. That and getting stood on. So preserve space around your chest. Don't push. Okay. And avoid walls and solid objects.
Yeah.
imagine if that was the line though, of the war chief of the Warriors. Avoid
Gone.
solid
Don't put a
objects.
backpack on the ground, lads.
You can see why they
Don't
didn't do
push.
that.
Oh, I wish we'd left as soon as we saw the crowd getting tense.
But
Yeah.
we saw where
But
Cleon's
perhaps Cleon would have lived.
Cleon's advice. We saw where it led him, didn't we?
Yeah, so Cleon doesn't do too well out of this. And the line again is, there he is! He's the warrior! We saw him! The Warriors did it! His delivery of the word
everything
Warriors
he
is
says.
disgusting. I hate him so much.
He does get under your skin. That is his...
Right off the bat. Yeah.
Cleon gets murdered by these bad bastards in orange karate suits.
I made it work.
They're Gramercy Riffs. They're the Gramercy Riffs, aren't
They
they?
are the Gramercy Riffs, yeah. The Warriors escape through... See, I'm even saying it now, Warriors. Warriors escape through a hole in the fence that they smash. And the riot cops start smashing skulls. You know, as the cops is wont to.
I can't believe the riot cops were just waiting around for that gathering, though, and didn't step into before that point.
I know,
Every single gang in New York is amassing on this park. Let's wait and see what happens.
Wouldn't have happened under Giuliani's rule, would it? He'd have fucking murdered the lot, wouldn't he? The Warriors make it into this graveyard to hide.
Yeah.
Swan says that they need to head back.
Evergreen Cemetery, by the way.
Oh, right. Very good. Fantastic. Swan says they need to head back. Basically, Swan's come up with all of these ideas. Swan is war chief, which I assume means that he drives a war rig in Mad Max.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
Yeah, he's Furiosa. Furiosa. Do not become reliant upon the water, or you will resent the lack of it. I fucking love Fury Road. It is beautiful. I am so not looking forward to this fucking Furiosa movie. It looks like dog shit.
No.
Anyway. Swan said they need to head back. Somebody, I want to say it's Cowboy, but it's maybe not. It says Coney Island must be 50 to 100 miles from here. And I was like, bit of an overestimate, son. It's 29 miles.
Oh.
Yeah, I got that one.
Miles, right. 1 hour 10 minutes by car, 1 hour 37 by train, and 11 hours 59 minutes on foot.
I had to train one. I'll take it out.
Okay. I've also got more train stuff coming up.
Of course
They aren't sure if the truce is still on. Swan tells them to meet at Union Square if they get separated. Ajax isn't happy about it. Who died and made Swan king of the zombies? Or something. We see the Gramercy Riffs, the ninja guys from earlier on, as Paul mentioned. The gaffer of the Riffs is so fucking cool, like the
He
new
really
gaffer
is.
of the Riffs.
Yeah.
Like, so they must have like a hierarchy. There's the boys in the karate suits.
Yep.
And then there's the lads in the black turtlenecks.
And the blacks. Yep.
And the aviators. And I love the shot, the way this is shot. Listen, if you've not seen this, fuck you, listen to this one. But if you love this movie, you'll know. The way this is shot, it's all very much, here's the king, kind of 2/3 of the shot, and the final third of the shot is the advisor leaning in. And
Yeah.
what you would say, kind of whispering, having the ear of the king. But speaking, the way he speaks is slow and deliberate, and it's great. It's fantastic. He says, I want the Warriors, all of them. Wasted if possible, but I want them. And then we cut to probably my other favourite shot of the whole thing, and it's the radio DJ and the way that her mouth is shot, and all we see is like the bottom of her nose,
just the hum of the horsey,
and her lips and her teeth, and she's a beautiful woman. You can tell just from that tiny bit of the face, but she has got such a way. Like a way with words. ASMR and all that they do now on YouTube and TikTok. Like this girl would be a fucking billionaire.
Do you know what? It was reminiscent of The Fog when she's doing the DJing part in The Fog. Exactly the same sort of idea. Loved it.
It's not the same person, no.
No. But she is back in the game.
Was she?
This actor's back in the game, not back on the game. That would be very
back
different.
In the game,
but she's back for Warriors the Game, which I'm sure you boys have got something about.
Best film adaptation game of all time. I think we've had a little chat.
Easily, yeah. That real live bunch from Coney, a hit from them in mind, and it's Nowhere to Run, which is great. And really randomly, boys, I've got to tell you, I walked into the office this morning. Somebody put the radio on just as I was walking to the office, and Nowhere to Run by Martha and the Vandellas was halfway through, and I just thought, this is fucking meant to me. And I turned to one of the guys and I went, I'm covering this song on the podcast tonight, and he just went,
But that wasn't the original Martha Reeves and the Vandellas version. I don't know if either of you got.
No, it's not.
It's by.
No, it's absolutely.
It was by I didn't realise until I rewatched it. I always thought it was in my head, the original one, but it was done by a guy called Arnold McCullen, who was a backing singer for James Taylor, Beck, and Phil Collins, among other people.
Fucking hell.
Well.
Yeah.
I'm Phil Collins, and I'm the original, of course, 1965 by Martha Reeves and the Vandellas, sold 200,000 in the UK, making it a silver disc, and is 358th in Rolling Stone's 500 best songs of all time.
Great song, and it fits perfectly. That is one of my favourite uses of soundtrack as well. I just think that is a perfect use.
You get all these shots of our absolute favourite, John, isn't it? Dirty New York.
Dirty
Old Town.
Yeah.
It's really good. We also get some new gangs showing up. The Big Fat Party Animals in their Hawaiian shoots. Prince and the New Power Generation. The French Stereotypes. All they were missing was like some onions round the neck and a baguette on their arm. And the Kojaks. Who's hunting you, baby? More on the Kojaks later. I
was thinking though, rewatching it, in this world of film universes, like being able to do stories about things that exist in I can't believe anyone's done anything with Warriors, because there's so much in there, like squeezed in there.
Yeah.
You could do a film about the Baseball Furies. You could do a film about the hi-hats.
I've just got this feeling about Walter Hill, a man who refuses to give up making films, in spite of the fact he's still kind of got his hand in all sorts. I don't know who he knows in cinema, but he's got his hand in films even today. And I think he was still holding out on that. Do you remember that thing MTV Studios optioned the rights to this in the 2000s? They were going to make it in LA with real gangs. Did you
No,
I didn't look this up because I remember this. It was sat on IMDb as The Warriors 2006 or something for like fucking 10 years.
Well, no.
And and again, I didn't look it up because I remembered it, because I was just all the time I would just go.
Why?
And it didn't happen. I assume MTV.
I just think as a franchise, it's got so much potential. It could go off in so many different directions.
Yeah.
But it's a shame.
We are where we are. The Warriors are running through the pouring rain when they hit the station. They're waiting for the train before they head in. And at that point, this school bus full of Turnbull ACs comes by, doesn't it?
Very skinhead-esque, aren't they?
Very much so. The line is, those lousy skinhead fucks. This train arrives on the platform above them. They make a run for it, but the Turnbull bus turns around and starts chasing them. outrunning a bus is usually really impressive, I think, lads.
Yeah.
But in this case, it's full of skinheads, and there's a bunch of them hanging off the top and the side. It's like an Indian train, isn't it? It's hardly going to move quite as quickly as you would hope. The bus, of course, is a 1967 Chevy Series S bus.
I didn't know that.
Of course it is. As listeners, regular listeners will know. The Warriors make it to the train, and it pulls out just as the skinheads arrive. I love Vermin's face here. Again, probably not an actor ever since, but he does this scared, relieved, nervous, tense face really well. They've all got really good faces. They've all got really good acting chops.
There's no bad performances in it, is there? Really? I know it's a kind of a genre grimy thing, but it's just. I just think everyone just sells it, fully sells it.
Yeah, no, I think you're absolutely right.
We're turning this. I'm turning this into a critic channel, aren't we? We're not meant to be.
No, it's good. But sometimes it is. Sometimes it is. Not very often. Only for about 10 minutes. Back at the riffs, the boss learns that the Turnbulls blew it. Further down the line, the Warriors train has to be stopped because there's a fire on the tracks. How unfortunate!
Oh, how'd that happen?
Meanwhile, the Rogues, which is the gang that shot Cyrus, the Rogues arrive at a newsstand. Now, for me, I couldn't take them seriously once I'd learned they were called the Rogues, because we've just adopted a little tiny cat called Rogue, and she's a little nuisance. She's really soft and fluffy and lovely and fantastic. And the Rogues are meant to be something other than. But actually, the more I thought about it, the shitter the Rogues are. And arguably, I'm just going to say, orphans up here, Rogues down here. I'm just calling it, listeners, before we get to the orphans. I think the orphans have got more of a fucking rep than these cunts.
Are they the Ducky Boys of this film, then?
Very much so. Luther calls back to base, while the others help themselves to snacks from this candy store. Luther explains to the scared Rogue that there's no way the Riffs can link the death to them. They're after the Warriors, and we can help grab them. As they leave, the woman at the stall, the young girl at the stall's, "Hey, what about the money you owe?" And I fucking love this, by the way. For what? Scream for what is beautiful.
I'm sure he nearly hit her with that chocolate bar, you know.
I'm pretty sure he did. By the way, she looks like the daughter of the landlord in Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, yeah.
Spider-Man 3. Rent!
Rent.
Rent! Yeah, absolutely. By the way, we'll talk about the Turnbull ACs. Let's talk about our favourite gang of. Let's talk about one of our favourite gangs of patrons, John. We're going to talk about the Turnbull ACs in patron form. But before we do that, John, we've got a new patron.
What? Where's the patron horn?
Handsome, talented, funny. You'd think Johnny's the complete package, but no, he's from Yorkshire. It's Oodles from Modern Escapism.
Oh, Yorkshire thing just blew it though.
The rest of the angry skinheads are Kieran, Jake, Stabby Rob Jones, Adam, Nigel, Dale, Paul Parks, Gadget, Gav McGill, and Phil. There you go. More of those pricks later.
All bald.
All bald. In fact, I'm just looking down the list. Yeah, there's not a bald man. There's not a bald man amongst them. I didn't really figure out. I don't think we've got any bald patrons.
Oh man.
Oh no, Gadget's very bald, but he's got a big beard. With a great big bushy beard.
Yeah, just flip him upside down. Flip him upside down.
Chance to be a fine thing, John. Indeed. Back at the flaming station, Swan notices that they've been made by this gang on the roof. Orphans. So far down the list, they're not even on the map.
They're on my map.
Oh, there's no more than maybe 30 of them. 30? Well, that's more than 8. Not if they're wimps. I love the use of the word wimps in this film. I love boppers and wimps.
Boppers.
Yep.
It's great because boppers seems very 50s, doesn't it? Hello, baby.
But did anyone research? I didn't get a chance to research. Is that a real term that was used by a gang?
No, I just thought about the big bopper.
Yeah,
which I always do. But who's laughing now? I'm not at the bottom of the fucking channel. So, and the big bopper is. So fuck you. No, hang on. He wasn't at the bottom of the channel. It's him out of. It's Jim Reeves. No. Anyway, somebody else at the bottom of the channel. Big Bopper flew into a mountain, I think, the day the music died. Big Bopper was also there.
Richie Valens was there, wasn't he?
Ricky Valens, Big Bopper, and
Buddy Holly.
the main one.
Yeah, Buddy Holly.
Yeah, Buddy Holly. Who am I thinking? The band leader that went down in the Channel?
Glenn Miller.
Glenn Miller. There you go. Fucking hell, old men remember things. Listeners. Fuck you're here, Paul, because John wouldn't have been able to answer that.
No.
Because he's not in the mood. They walk down the street and approached by the orphans. We got a heavy rep. By the way, I was certain this lead orphan was non-union Adrian Brody.
I thought it was the old landlord for Bloody Friends at one point with the dodgy eye.
Oh, very good. Yeah.
All the orphans have dodgy eyes, though, don't they?
I
think that was they were cast
that's
based
because
on
no one
that.
wants them. That's why they were all given up. They were
poked in the eye.
They were all given up by their parents because they'd shit because bong-eyed. Can I say that? It's 2024.
Boss-eyed? Aye.
Oh dear.
We got a heavy rep, and he hands Swan this newspaper. It's so funny. This newspaper clip.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the orphans. Our youth
You
worker
guys
talks
are the-
about you all the time. And I was like, hang on a second, are you supposed to be like 18? Are you supposed to be like 16? What is going on here?
Was that Fox that was reading it? Because he gave him like a sideways glance when he said it, as if, aye, right, whatever.
He does, yeah, it is Fox, yeah.
Or Windows from the thing.
What, Windows XP? They agree to let the
Indeed.
Warriors walk through until Mercy starts making chicken noises. Now, opinions on Mercy, the only female character that really truly matters in this film.
Hubba Hubba.
John, was that a...
I
And
was,
Paul's like, honestly, I think she's great. I think she kind of pulls out of Swan something that we would never have seen. But she's also, I don't know, she's pretty fucking tough, guys.
although that was the most horrid kiss I'd ever seen on screen. That kiss in the subway was fucking horrific, man.
Did it not do
I
that
think
for
she
you?
should have wore a
No.
bra as well. It's very beautiful.
Oh, yeah,
very
yeah,
beautiful
absolutely.
woman.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Aye.
definitely needed a bra.
A bit more uplifting.
Where's she meant to get the money for a bra from?
She's an orphan.
Bronx, man. Yeah,
Especially when, like, later on, the Warriors cut off her pants, don't they, and put it in a Molotov cocktail.
Oh yeah. I like
Yeah.
So that's probably why she doesn't wear a bra, because that's probably happened with other gangs in the past.
They probably gave her a coat
turned
later
it
on.
into a catapult.
And gave her a coat later on because it was getting colder.
Oh, I've got a fact on that, man.
Yeah, I know you do.
We'll come to that.
We've all got one.
She asked for a Warriors vest. No chance. She tells non-union Adrian Brody he isn't a man for letting them through, and then he has this change of heart. Tells them to take off their colours and they can pass through. We're going to hide who we are because some whore shakes her ass. I'm not a whore. Don't call me no whore. Just keep walking. Why don't you dickheads walk all the way back home? And I'm like, yeah, why don't you walk all the way back
Would be a
home?
good plan,
Yeah,
really.
see ya.
Down the block, Mercy's following the Warriors, but doesn't spot them until they grab her. Is it Swan that grabs them? Maybe I'm looking for some real action.
No, Ajax, because he's the rapey one, isn't
Ajax.
he?
Ajax awful.
He's the
isn't
one
he?
that
Yeah.
Paul Kersey would definitely hate because he wants to rape most
aye.
things in his.
He's kind of rapey, isn't he? He's a rapey
No,
guy.
Paul Kersey's always very well dressed and always washes his dishes. So I like Ajax. I use it to wash my clothes.
He wouldn't forgive rape, I don't think, because of that.
No, he wouldn't. Absolutely.
It's Sif now, just so you know.
Swan suggests they might all take turns on her until a handful of orphans turn up. You see what you get, Warriors? This is what you get, Warriors, when you find a stranger in the Alps. I mean, he doesn't say that, of course. That's the TV cut of Big Lebowski, isn't it? This is what happens. You see what happens when you find a stranger in the Alps. Previous episode. The Warriors throw this Molotov at a car, which, as you say, it's just a bottle of like rum or something, isn't it?
No.
And he puts the dress in it.
Her knickers. It's her knickers, isn't it?
It's part of her dress.
Part of
It's
the
a bit
dress.
of,
Oh,
she's
is
got
it?
quite a long dress. Yeah.
Because that was one of the things I was like, how did he cut her knickers off without putting her dress up?
Yeah.
I didn't get that.
Who's Ajax now? Who's Ajax now? Getting a rapey.
Oh, I completely misread that.
It hits the car in front of them, and they absolutely shit it. Don't they?
No.
The Warriors also cheese it and get to the station. And when they get there, it's like, what are we running for? I don't know. They jump on this train. The DJ reports the latest from the orphans. Be looking good, boppers. Which I kind of like.
I love all of that DJ stuff. I think that is one of the greatest things about the film. Yeah.
Aye.
By the way, what did you recognise Swan out of? Because there's one particular film that I absolutely recognised him out of, and I was only a little too embarrassed to tell you.
No.
I did research him, and it was only one other film. It's something quite opposite to this, isn't it?
He's in my favourite other band, my favourite other gang, which is the Xanadu's.
Yeah, Xanadu.
Xanadu's. Xanadu.
But he was in the film.
No.
I did a lot of research very quickly, but he was in a film with Sigourney Weaver. Was that Xanadu? Was Sigourney Weaver in Xanadu?
No, it's Olivia Newton-John in Xanadu.
But he was
the one they filmed in Israel, and this is where he got spotted.
Yeah, and Sigourney Weaver was meant to be Mercy.
They were looking at Sigourney Weaver for this.
Yeah.
Aye, yeah. I read that bit.
Pretty good.
Sigourney Weaver.
Pretty good. What happens to orphans in New York City today, boys? Well, since fostering started in the USA, since paid fostering started in the USA, in 1960s, the orphanages have slowly been replaced by modern boarding schools and workhouses. I mean, modern boarding schools, residential treatment centres, and group homes. Although foster scare, fucking maybe, remains the most common form of support for children who are waiting for adoption or reunification with their families, according to adoption.co.uk.
Good to know.
There you go.
So they're not forming boss-eyed gangs across New York anymore.
Apparently not. Luther gets the news too. They're off to meet them at 96th Street Station, where the Warriors change to get to Coney. And the guy's like, "What are you so happy about?" He said, "I'm having a good time."
Nice.
Such a great delivery. At 96th Street Station, the Warriors are waiting for the train departing. When the cops arrive on the platform, they make a run for it, and Remar kicks one down the stairs. It's a really good film for this.
Aye.
And this chase is like Scooby-Doo, up and down stairs, up and down stairs.
Aye.
Until Fox gets into this rollabout on the platform with a cop and ends up under the train. Right, boys, which of you is doing this one?
Anybody want it?
I know you must both have this fact.
Aye, the fact that they fired him because he was always getting stoned and getting fucked up and was unreliable. He's uncredited in this now, so...
He is, he has to take his name out of the film.
Yeah.
See, Fox?
Yeah.
Because I read that
so
the reason
he dies on the platform.
I got a totally different fact, because I got that Fox was meant to be Mercy's love interest, but because the guy who played Swan had a real connection with her, that Fox was written that part of Fox's character was written out because of it. So yeah, we've obviously got different sources.
Oh, that's good, but this isn't him that takes the tumble.
Yes.
This is like a stuntman, isn't it?
It's all
This is
been
like
written
a
out by
stuntman
that
who looks
stage.
like him.
Ah.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it was so sudden though. It was like literally just like done. It's like getting
That is someone written out, isn't it? Proper.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Vermin, Cochise and Rembrandt make it onto the train heading to Union Square. And the rest head out onto the street where who's waiting for them, Paul?
Baseball Furies.
The Baseball Furies. Now, are they your favourite, other than obviously the
the
hi-hats?
They're amazing. I love the fact
they're shit though, aren't they? They're whips.
they are. But that's I was thinking that a lot of the gangs in this are very slight. There's no real hench kind of gangs in this whole world. They all look like
don't
actors.
Agree.
They do look like actors, but I just love the way the baseball fields don't talk. They're all about business, but they do get battered.
Yeah, they get absolutely 96th Street Station, boys. My fact of the episode is coming up shortly. This was actually filmed at Hoyt Schermerhorn in Brooklyn, which is in loads of films because it has 2 unused platforms.
Yep. Yep.
What films, John? Did you have any of these?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Nighthawks, Company America, Crocodile Dundee 2, Crocodile Dundee, Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3. Anyway,
Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3. Not the good one, Paul,
no.
which we would love to have you on for, by the way. I assume you've seen the original Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3.
Yes, of course.
It's one of my absolute favourite films. Oh, I'm barely a hero. It's me, Walter Matthau.
I think it's got
He's not a hero at all.
the greatest ending of any film, really. Isn't it? It's just got the greatest
cough.
ending.
The cough is perfect.
And his little face looking back.
The way, it's just the way that the two of them look at one another. Jerry. I was going to say Jerry. Yeah, I was going to say Jerry Springer. It's not Jerry Springer, is it? Jerry. The fucking actor dad. The comedian. Fucking hell.
Jerry Lewis. Jerry Lee Lewis.
No, the dad of Jerry Stiller.
No.
Jerry Stiller's the other cop. Jerry Stiller's the beat cop.
Before I forget as well, because
you know Ben Stiller's dad.
Oh, I didn't know that. But
yeah, Ben Stiller's dad is in it, and he's not aged a day from that film because he's always been old. To one where he lives with his daughter and big fat Kevin James,
King of Queens.
Yeah, that's the one.
But yeah, so quickly back to Nighthawks that John just mentioned. The screenplay was written by the same guy, David Chaber, and I love Nighthawks.
Oh, right, very good.
It's Rutger Hauer meets Stallone in a kind of grimy 70s New York cop film.
Not to be confused with Ladyhawk, where he doesn't meet Sylvester.
No, that's Michelle Pfeiffer, isn't it?
Very barely meets Michelle Pfeiffer. Yeah, absolutely. My fact of the episode, listeners, what else was filmed there? Famed child catcher Michael Jackson filmed his Bad video there.
Wow.
No.
Two Michael Jackson references. Two Michael Jackson facts. I say facts.
Can we make it 3?
Oh, very good. Come on, guys.
That was good. That was quick.
Yes, Paul, you mentioned the Baseball Furies. Well, the Baseball Furies members for our patrons are Ian McComish, Nigel Davis, Dan and Gavin Belson, Aaron Huggett, Joe Higgins, Punk, Mono, Josh and Stig. You big face-painted twats. There you go.
I think that's one of my favourite moments in the movie, and also my favourite moments in the game, because they recreate that pretty perfectly. You do have to fight the Baseball Furies in that park before you can get back on the track.
And it looks great. Yeah. The game was a 2005 Rockstar game.
It's a banger.
Man, I wish Rockstar could spend some time doing this. And as I discovered yesterday by doing some looking up, the 1999 Game Boy Color Evil Knievel game.
What?
Rockstar made an Evil Knievel game.
Jesus.
I'm a proper...
Where you have to do stunts to collect different
I'm
things.
not a massive gamer, but Rockstar for me is anything that they do. I'm on it. But
yeah.
Bully. I've been thinking a lot about Bully recently, or
Bully.
Edit, it's called for American audiences. I think I'm gonna have to go back and do that.
Go back.
But the voice for the Manhunt game, was that not Brian Cox? John, have we not had this discussion? Like the guy that's the voiceover in that Manhunt. I fucking hated that Manhunt game because it was just it was too grim.
Aye, it was proper grim.
It was too grim, and you were too on your own.
It is proper scary.
So scary.
I did. It's one of my least favourite Rockstars, because I think the good Rockstars have got that mix of violence and humour, haven't they?
Yeah.
And there's no humour in that at all.
It's dark.
There's putting plastic bags over lads' heads and bricking them. Or there's plenty of bricking them in the Warriors one, isn't there? There's plenty of hoying like twatting them on the head with a brick.
You said you completed it. I couldn't complete it. I always got to the... there was a stage where I think it might have been a stage where we were getting chased by the Turnbull ACs in the bus. I couldn't get past that. I died and gave up because I haven't got a good...
right, okay. Yeah, no, I definitely completed it, because the end, and I'm pretty sure they used whatever the process for the bit where you have to throw the knife into the arm of Luther at the end. Spoilers, listeners. Spoilers for a film that's older than me. And a game that's older than John's kids. That bit, you have to kind of aim it. It took me fucking ages, and I turned it off, and I think I might have... you didn't uninstall back then, you just run the disc, didn't you?
No.
But I might have just sat on it for ages and then went back to it. And I was kind of like, oh, okay, it's just the same ending as the film. Great, okay. That was a little bit disappointing.
It's so brilliantly written. I don't want to go off on too much tangent, as a prelude to the Warriors, isn't it? It's like set like... is it 30 days before the actual meeting, like Cyrus's meeting?
Yes.
And it builds up to it. But yeah, brilliant, beautiful
Yeah,
game.
it's so good because you're like the new guy, aren't you? You're like the new kid.
And
you have to give yourself a name.
And it's so good that I always think that Cleon's a bigger character in the film because he's a major part of the game.
So do I. Yeah, because he's so important in the film. Yeah, exactly right. Yeah. And you spend a lot of time on the punch bag. You've got you train yourself up on the speed bag, the punch bag. Yeah. Anyway, hell, listeners. Sorry.
And he's away.
Are you a gamer, John? Did you ever play that or?
No.
It's an amazing game.
I was brought up in stupid, crappy, quick hitters. I didn't have time to play games where you had to invest some of your time. I was always in it.
John, John had kids at that point. So. Yeah, exactly.
I could only commit.
Us pair of fucking losers.
I could only ever commit to 15 minutes at a time, so I couldn't play long games. Otherwise, it would just take me on my life.
Story of your life, though, isn't it, John? That's what Kirsty tells me. So, the Warriors make a run for it, and the Furies pursue. And actually, written here, the Furries, which is a very different gang.
Yeah.
And a gang I'd like to see in a future one, to be honest. I'd love to see them running in the big outfits. And then probably fucking one another or something. I don't know what furries do these days. The bit of music is some of my favourite here, by the way. They chase them through the park and have a brawl. I'm going to stick that popsicle so far up your ass, you're going to... I'm going to stick that bat so far up your ass, you're going to like a popsicle. Is a fantastic line. And it's also the first place I ever heard the line, fucking A, which I love using.
Fucking A.
It was this, fucking A. And then I think Aliens. It's in
Aliens
Aliens
that's
as well,
what. Yeah, that's what I know
fucking
from.
A. Yeah, this first and then Aliens.
Hudson says it. Hudson.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm Hicks. He's Hudson. Cowboy takes a beating, but they still manage it. Back to the DJ, and she's got all these lines about the baseball Furies dropped the ball and made an error, and I'm like, this is the first time I think this is a bit shit. This is the first time I'm kind of like, okay, you're labouring the point now. Just say that they look like a bunch of Kiss fucking rejects. And there's a reason they look like a bunch of Kiss rejects, lads. Because Walter Hill loves baseball and Kiss.
No, there you go.
I mean, he looks like the kind of man who likes Kiss.
Kiss. Fuck Kiss.
Yeah, that, yes. I mean, yes and no.
Not
I know a couple of
literally.
Kiss albums. No. I mean, you keep that massive fucking tongue off me, you pervert. At Union Square, Vermin, Cochise and Rembrandt spot a group of girls on the platform. I absolutely adore Cochise's line here. Well, here, look what you find in the big city. It's great. Because we've not had a lot of kind of Cochise being a character to this point, really. Yeah. In the park, Ajax, Swan and Snow and Cowboy spot this woman on a bench. Ajax, as you've already said, is an absolute fucking menace.
Yeah.
He tells them he's going to spend some time with him. Swan says, "You're not very smart." "I'm plenty smart when it's there for free." Okay.
Whatever.
All right, mate. And I was kind of like, okay, look, perhaps it's a thing. But let's be fair. This woman doesn't look like any of the other women in the film.
Nope.
She doesn't look like any of the Lizzies. No. She doesn't look like Mercy. And, well, that's all the women in the film. Let's be fair. Sorry, listeners. But she looks like someone's mum.
As soon as I seen it, I realised who it was.
Did you say, is it Cagney and/or Lacey?
And/or Lacey. No, it's Fraser Crane's boss. For Fraser.
What?
She played Fraser Crane's boss at one point.
Oh, really, Cowboy?
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. The Baseball Furies Park is Riverside Park in Manhattan. The park measures 253 acres and runs from 72nd Street to 129th and was built in 1874. It includes memorials to Hungarian leader Louis Kossuth, Eleanor Roosevelt and Joan of Arc, who I assume loved the view. Boys, where else have we seen this park?
Is it in Death Wish? No?
That's right. It's where I murdered all those motherfuckers at the end of Death Wish.
That mashup needs to be made.
It's where I'm going down the stairs, and Paul put Plenty's face on my body for his birthday, which sounds a lot sexier than it is. I'll be honest. I'll put that in there.
Yeah, you need to explain that or show the image because that does sound like
everyone's seen that picture.
That sounds like I gave you sexual favours for your birthday unless you explain that
for free.
It's the least I deserve. How many times have you got to advertise your shit on this podcast, Bally? In fact, I've just realised, John, at no point did you say blammo when Cyrus got shot. You've only let yourself down. You've only let yourself down.
Let myself down, Jesus, Kirsty, the whole lot.
Kirsty?
Kirsty.
Paul Kirsty.
Paul Kirsty.
Jesus Christ. It's officially our longest episode, and we're still like about 2/3 of the film.
That's because you're on a gin, apparently. I didn't realise that.
Oh yeah, Pint of gin for the lads. Yeah. I always like to drink when I'm on with you. It's and you're not on the fucking whiskey for once.
I am now.
Oh, you are now.
Yeah.
Oh, good man. What whiskey do you drink, Paul?
I can't afford good stuff, so I go for the Aldi's version of Jack Daniels, which is known as Samuel Joe's. So I'm on the SJs.
All right, is it all right?
It's really decent, to be fair.
Because I drink their single malt. It's like $17.99 a bottle, and it's shite.
Yeah, I don't think I'm a connoisseur, to be honest, but
I'm
get
not.
what I can afford.
The bigger the drink, the better. Usually.
Samuel Joe's, yeah, gets me there.
Samuel Jackson, it's my beer. Drink, bitch. Is that a reference we all get? That's Samuel Jackson's beer. Do you know that reference, Paul?
No, sorry.
All right, I'll send you the. This is all being fucking cut out. By the way. I'll send you the Dave Chappelle show. Samuel Jackson's beer.
Poor John, he's
Sam
totally
Jackson's
sober.
Beer.
Here I am on the SJs. You want
yeah,
to
he's up at work. He's up for work at 6 in the morning. Anyway, all I've got to worry about in the morning is getting to feed some cats.
And they didn't miss.
Oh yeah, that's nice. She invites him to sit down and keep her company. You want to show me how you play with the chicks? He's like, I'll show you how to play with the chicks. He gets a bit rough. Is he biting her, by the way?
I know, it's a bit bitey.
I'm trying to figure this out. I've watched this twice this week. Is he biting her fucking shoulder or something? He's like, no need to get rough. She cuffs him to the bench and shows him her badge. And then she's got a whistle. And I was like, I guess the old ways are the best.
Yeah.
He does a good job of fighting this cop off whilst chained to a bench, by the way. The other one gives him the odd nightstick to the stomach. But there is a bit where he manages to drag this bench just whilst moving. I was like, is it a real bench? Like, if that was a bench and one man could drag it slightly, like, lads would be fucking tearing shit up in the park all the time, wouldn't they? And thankfully, that's the last we see of that piece of shit. James Remar, though, good actor.
Yeah.
Swan heads back to 96th Street Station to look for the others, but only finds Mercy. Mercy stole a coat to cover up, and the line is, because they're looking for a chick in a pink vest.
I know.
Right? Anything on this, John?
She broke her arm?
She broke her arm doing the fucking Fox thing on the station, and that's the only way they could get her to cover up the fucking stuff.
They could hide it.
How good a fact is that? I mean, fucking.
That's good.
I love that.
That's good.
Love that. This is probably where it starts to get a bit uncomfortable for Paul, because Paul obviously being completely asexual.
Oh dear.
He goes, real tough chick. It's a quite good line. Mercy takes Swan back to the platform. By the way, I love the sound of all the empty platforms in these films. Like, it's I assume they've gone back and done Foley. They get made by this cop, and Swan's move is brilliant, by the way, to get him. He throws a baseball bat at the guy.
At his legs,
hits him in the shins.
Yeah.
Oh, it starts hopping.
It's a brave play, Cotton, but it might just pay off. They escape down the tracks. Cochise, Rembrandt and Vermin are taken back to this place with these chicks.
Lizzies.
Oh, yeah. The girl's like, oh, we know who the warriors are. And she explains that they're the Lizzies. John, you're not going to believe this. We've got yet a further new patron.
What?
John's eyes, listeners.
Ka-ching. Is that the pigeon horn?
There you go. It sounded like I don't know what it sounded like. I don't know what you were doing, mate. John's eyes have just gone into dollar signs. I don't know why, because it's paid in pounds. But it's Candy Machine from Modern Escapism. John, we've got a full lot of the Modern Escapism crew. All of them are on board now.
Gotta catch them all. Pokemon.
Modern Escapism on. She tattoos. She draws. She watches worse films than us. And I've got to be honest, I know for a fact she's only paying a quid to hear me reading gay porn.
Oh, son. That's cheap at half the price.
Quid well spent,
Mate,
isn't it?
I'll take your fucking money. I will take your money. Paul, it's money well spent. Paul's actually, I've just got an alert on my phone to say Paul signed up 20 times. The rest of the
I've
lizards,
never been more tempted to sign up, to be honest. With the dual copies.
You should hear the shit that we did on 70s 70s public service adverts. You know, the ones about crossing the road. You must be out of your tiny little minds. Rest of the Lizzies are Rachel, Maria, Emily, Jen, Megan and Ali. Thank you guys. We really, really appreciate that you pay a quid each week.
Bye.
But I've got to say it. For what?
What one's going to get hit with a chair?
Oh, yes. That's, by the way, yeah. We'll come to that because it's fucking brilliant. Cachise and Vermin are getting comfortable, but Rembrandt wants to head back to the station for the rest of them. On the tracks, Mercy and Swan are talking. I've cut this down because it's probably a little bit too talky. Be a little friendly. I don't even know your name. I don't like the way you live. I keep hoping I'm going to run into something a little better. And I'm like what? She says, I'm happy the way I am. I don't want to have a belly hanging down, 5 kids and cockroaches in the cupboard. I mean, as a man that has all 3 of those things, I feel a bit fucking called out by Mercy. It's a great bit of dialogue, though. She kisses Swan passionately as this train passes by. And I've got to say, this is the first and last point I looked at this film, and I thought, if that had been shot a little bit better, this would have looked amazing. But the train is just too... I think it's too real. I think if that had been shot probably for another 30 grand, that would have looked amazing. But then again, you would have done it today and it wouldn't have been a train there.
No.
You know, you done it today and it would have been a fucking green
screen. I think that's one of the things about
True.
What makes Warriors so great is that it is that proper old school New York. It's filmed in that and you can tell it, can't you? Much like Death Wish.
Yeah. Absolutely. He pulls away and says, let's just get to the next station. She literally begs him. She begs him. And I wasn't entirely sure the first time I was watching it, for the podcast at least, what she's begging him for. But she's absolutely begging him for sex, isn't she? She's just begging him.
She actually does say please at one point, doesn't she? He's like, when he stops, she's like, please.
Because he says something along the lines of, oh, you just have a mattress on your back every Friday. You don't remember the name. You don't remember the name on a Friday, on the Saturday. And he's like... She's like, I don't care on a Friday, I care even less on a Saturday. It's a great line. The retort is, you're part of everything that's happened tonight and it's all bad. So fucking hell, give the girl some...
He is harsh on her, isn't he?
No.
Yeah. Back at the Lizzie's hideout, tons of fucking crimped hair.
Yeah, I thought that was an 80s thing, not a 70s thing.
Well, Rachel said exactly that. She was certain it was a mid-80s thing. But apparently, as we've learned today, it goes back to the 70s. I don't have enough myself to
your beard.
All right, ludicrous. Oh no, that's Pimp My Ride. Got you. Nice try. Back at the Lizzie's hideout, they bolt the door, and one of them says, "You're the Warriors, the gang that shot Cyrus." And they're like, "What?" And then the line is, "Shit, the chicks are packed."
I love that line. I've got that written down in my notes. I think that's one of my favourite lines in the whole movie.
There's a fight. Kachis smashes this breakaway chair of one of the lizards in slow motion, which looks
so good.
Fucking amazing.
It proper sells that, doesn't it? It's proper.
And it's shot at this. It's shot in this semi kind of, and I know it's very unlikely that this what it was, but it looks like Old Boy. It looks like that shot out of Old Boy, where he's, where we're seeing everything kind of as a video game.
But it's almost ahead of its time because
so
they are hard, the lizards, aren't they? They're not just like a load of fence.
They don't fuck about.
And they go down and they fight. And I love that bit where they're snogging one of the warriors, and the flick knife comes out by the side of his head.
Yeah, it's great.
I didn't experience him. I've got in my notes. Sorry, John. I know you've got to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning.
No, it's alright.
But yeah, I had a real life experience back in my clubbing days when I came out of a nightclub when I was in my sort of mid-teens, and there was a group of girls in a car, and they said to me, "Do you need to get home?" And I was like, "Yeah, but I'm waiting for a taxi." And they'll go, "Well, we need petrol money. If you pay us for like the £5 you're going to pay on a taxi, we'll take you home." And they took me on like an hour ride of absolute horror, just driving me around. One of them had a flick knife, and I think they were just taking the piss. But one of them said, "We've escaped from our home, and we stole one of the people's cars, and we're going to take you around and whatever." And they drove me around for an hour, absolutely terrified. They dropped me off in a car park near my house, so I think they were just taking the piss. But yeah, they were real life Lizzies.
Mate, that's
wow, you got Lizzied, man.
No half.
Those chicks were packed.
They were packed. I've never seen a flick knife. I just think it was their idea of fun.
That's because you didn't grow up in fucking Glasgow.
No half. That's a button knife there.
Or Nottingham, for that matter. It was all guns when I was growing up.
Yeah, every time I see that scene, I have a flashback to that.
Wow.
Oh, I love that. I absolutely love that. They escape with a few cuts and head to the station to tell Swan the full story. Swan's at Union Square, alone, or at least it looks that way, until we see who I have written here as Prayer of the Roller Boys.
Oh, yeah.
Skating around.
Yeah.
And that made me think, how the hell can you fight on fucking roller skates? You just need to be pushed
I
away.
thought just run up a hill. If you want to run up a hill.
Do not speak ill of my boy DJ from Streets of Rage 2.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
No, true,
yeah,
true.
DJ always managed to fucking fight on roller skates, didn't he?
Yeah.
I can't believe you badmouthed that bad motherfucker. Roller skates, or quad skates as they're known now, a pair of Oxello Quad 100 at decathlon.co.uk, $59.99.
Worth every penny.
I would break my fucking ankles.
What, so we're not, us three are not going to start up a roller skating gang then? A roller skating mime gang.
Playing in the roller boys.
Can I not wear dungarees? I'd like to wear dungarees, is that alright? Dungarees, boys. This is from Toast magazine in 2015. I hear you, Clem Fandango. Dungarees are thought to have been named after Dongaree Kapar, a harbourside village near Mumbai in India, where a coarse, thick calico was manufactured. The Hindi name for this cloth was Dungri. I'm not making this up, although it seems like I probably am. Along the way, an extra syllable was added, and Dungri became Dungaree. A pair of red tab overalls, Levi's, £100 at levi.co.uk. Paul, I got to be honest, you look like a dungaree cunt. Prove me wrong and maintain your allure on this podcast.
I have been known to wear a dungaree. I'm sorry.
When you were pregnant?
No, I used to. My dad used to get really annoyed with me because I used to wear them in that proper stupid way of having a belt and having the dungaree bit hanging down as well.
One hanging over.
Yeah.
My dad my dad never used to get annoyed at me about most things, but that really triggered him for some reason.
Was he worried that you were going to end up in the cast of brushstrokes with Carl Howland?
Yeah.
Jesus, brushstrokes. A memory for nobody.
God.
The two groups of warriors meet up and catch up. Mercy arrives and explains that Skater Boy and his mates are after him. They're in this really weird pinball arcade in the subway.
Yeah.
Right, which obviously wasn't a real thing because the pinball machines were just placed on like on a. I don't know what's going on, but then the Warriors and Mercy head into the men's room. I was like, can you imagine a toilet in the subway. In the 70s? Fuck that.
It's very.
I wouldn't even go to the toilet in a Subway shop.
When you think about it, though, like going back to games, sorry, John, that is how Streets of Rage is, isn't it? There'd just be a pinball machine on a pier, and I think it's very much. I think there's a connection between those two.
Oh, it absolutely rips the fuck out of this. Yeah, of course it does. The roller boys follow them in. It looks like a Weatherspoons toilet at like 11:30 on a Friday night. The Warriors are hidden in the stalls. The first stall, Roller Boy comes in, and Rembrandt sprays. Oh, I've actually written here Roller Girl in the face. Man, I wouldn't mind spraying Roller Girl in the face. Future episode, by the way. I'd love to do Boogie Nights. That would be such a good episode to do.
True.
With a can of paint and the rest bomb out the cubicles. A massive fight later, and the Warriors are on the way. There's a couple of really good like pick up and throws, isn't there? You know, like gorilla press type throws. One guy goes into the mirrors, and it starts to look. I did get a bit of a feeling as they left that it was the bathroom out of Saw. You know, the original Saw.
Yeah, when they're online in
the I would like to play a game.
That was the only studio shot, and it took 5 days to do.
Oh, really? That was a studio shot?
The toilet. That looks so like a legitimate, like...
Yeah, but I suppose it's going to have spending 5 nights fighting in a bathroom. Imagine it. What are they doing in there?
5 nights.
You could have filmed that live in Weatherspoons.
Nobody'd notice. People are too busy worrying about walking down all the stairs.
5 nights fighting in a bathroom. What were they in Falkirk? Fucking hell.
Try to go out.
If I saw 5 nights fighting in the bathroom in Poundland, that'd be straight next up on my watch list.
Is that not the prison movie with your man out of the Wedding Crashers? Oh, that's 99 bathroom, 99 cells or whatever it's called.
Vincent.
Vincent Vaughn.
That's it.
That's Cell Block 99.
Born in Cell Block 99, yeah. Bone Tomahawk guy. And
Bone Tomahawk is miles better than that.
Yeah.
Bone Tomahawk's fucking brilliant.
Yeah, I was disappointed with his... Because Dragged Upon Concrete was another follow-up, wasn't it? But Bone Tomahawk I thought was just like a game changer.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I was it because I love a Western film anyway.
But it's like proper horror, nasty Western, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's
the bit where they turn him upside down and cut him from his...
Yes, please give me more of that in cinema. Legitimate cinema, more of that, please. Back at the Riffs, there's someone here to explain. He saw who actually shot Cyrus. Now, I do a lot of notes on this. Boys, can you help me out? Did we see who this was or not?
Yeah, he was standing there.
The person that tells the riffs?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was just like a wee spotty-faced ginger boy, wasn't he?
So it's nobody, it's not anybody.
It's not somebody we'd... No, it's not somebody you saw.
Right, okay, because I'm always doing notes, and I'm always fucking typing stuff, and doing stuff on my phone for the first watch, or typing stuff on the computer for the second watch. So I didn't see, so it's just some fucking pluky face wee guy.
Yeah, some random. Yeah.
Okay, cool. On the train to Coney, this gang of kids gets on, and it looks like they've been to this prom, or the set of Boogie Nights, or something, I don't know.
Yeah.
They're meant to be the same age as the Warriors, but they're obviously not. And Mercy, they look a lot younger and a lot happier, and they're certainly covered in a lot less shit.
I know.
They get off at the next stop, and one drops her corsage. They don't say a word, but the scene speaks absolute volumes.
It's quite a powerful scene,
for the fact that, there's no audible dialogue on this, but it's great. You're right. It's absolutely really powerful.
When she tries to fix her hair as well, that was quite good because he obviously stops her face.
Yeah, she does, and they notice that she's got like a ripped skirt, which obviously Paul thinks is her knicker.
But I think that was one of the best scenes in it, like cinema wise, because it is proper. They're looking in a mirror, aren't they? And it's
what could have been a sliding doors moment.
Yeah, but it's one of those.
Yeah, yes, very much so. Yeah, I didn't think.
But it's one of those clever moments that you don't. If you just watching it as a gang film, you think I just want to see a load of gangs fight. It's a bit like Train Spotting for me, where people said that Train Spotting glorified heroin use, Warriors glorified gang violence. The real message is much deeper than that.
Yeah.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. Mate. That's a really good analogy. The train arrives at Stillwell Avenue, and Swan picks up the corsage and hands it to her. What's this for? I hate seeing anything but wasters.
You can't.
Fucking hell, mate! Stop being a massive prick.
know.
She is laying it on a plate for you. It's dawn. Is this what we fought all night to get back
And
to?
another great line as well.
I
thought that was another really powerful line that makes it stand out for me. It's like, we've gone through all this shit to get back to this shit.
For this, it did look like shit, didn't
This
it?
place that when we left, we were so proud of.
Yeah.
And we were so all about. And we get back and we go, it's cloudy, it's
It really
shitty,
is a
it's
profound
empty,
film.
it's rainy.
Isn't it? Yeah.
No.
Yeah, absolutely. He says, I might just take off. And she's like, well, I could travel, I like to travel. He's like, where have you travelled? Well, I figure I do like to travel. All right, fucking... I like the concept of travel.
That's one thing I wish he'd it's hard to get and it's hard to get. Like, you've just given me a fucking corsage. Just fucking give me something. I'd like her to get on a train and just say fuck off. Then
He's read that book by that fucking guy that negs women. Isn't he?
Is that Andrew Tate?
yeah, he is the 70s Andrew Tate.
No, there's negging and raping, John. There's a difference.
That's one Ajax was reading.
I was going to call it Dice Man, but it's not that, is it? It's the one. The Game. It's called The Game, isn't it? Fuck, I just lost the game. You know the book The Game about negging women to make yourself better? Fucking whoever that guy is, I hope he's dead. But here come the Rogues. Now, I love this because I love the Rogues car. I don't mention it until now. The 1955 Cadillac hearse. Can you imagine this being your hearse? I mean, Paul, you probably can.
It's covered in
we'll make
graffiti,
it
isn't
happen. Don't worry about it. Yeah. We'll make sure it's the case for you. Don't worry about it. They're following the Warriors. Like, the Warriors are walking pretty slowly, and they're just driving really slowly behind them. Which, in a way, makes sense because it's a hearse.
Yeah.
They're under the boardwalk, and Swan tells Mercy to wait 5 minutes and then head out. But instead, she gets a bottle of Budweiser, smashes it against the wall, and she's like, yeah, I can do it. And they all grab these really fortunate placed bits of pier to fight with. Like, there's a bit of wood,
the pipe,
a bit of driftwood. All right, Travis, give it a rest. And a bit of pipe that they rip off, and they're just going to go for it.
But I don't know why they're getting so heavily equipped against three of that gang, because they are pretty, like, what they've been through. They've like basically decimated half the gangs in New York, and there's a few of them, and they're just like.
But there's just something about this gang that they're just.
Yeah, it's final boss, isn't it? In the computer game, they are. He is the final boss.
I always assumed that this gang were also a Coney gang, but I guess not. I guess they've just followed them. You
what they called what? We do know what they're called, don't we?
They are called the Rogues.
The Rogues, yeah.
They're called the Rogues. Yeah. Of course, we now get probably the most iconic bit of the film. We all know it. Does anybody fancy having a go at it without busting the mics?
Warriors, come out to play.
Yeah, it's great. It's fantastic. It's really
and based on one of his neighbours.
Improvised.
No, I read it was based on someone in his neighbourhood.
Yeah, but he did it improvised based on one of his neighbours.
And it's brilliant.
Neighbour used to call people out to play that way.
Even my mum knows that line. I had a phone call. My mum has never watched more than 5 movies in her life, and I said, I'm doing the podcast with my mates tonight, and Warriors. She went, Warriors, come out to play.
Wow.
So it's proper iconic.
Out of interest, Paul, what other 4 films has your mum seen?
Some old shit like Love Actually and Bridget Jones's Diary and shit like that. But I don't know, it's just really surprising.
You're not going to believe this, Paul, but both of those are on our list to cover in the future.
Well,
we won't call you, but we might call your mum. But I mean, don't worry about giving us the number. We've already got a number. It's fine. Not for the podcast.
always ends up in the glove.
It's really unhinged, this. I love it and I hate it. For me, it goes on a little bit too long, but it absolutely doesn't go on too long for the film. Like, for me, you know the clank of the 3 bottles on his fingers? I hate, as soon as it starts, I'm like, I hate this.
It's like when you were talking about ASMR earlier. It's the anti-ASMR.
Yeah.
It really... A bit like his character.
Aye.
It gets under your skin. I don't know how.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
But apparently...
And he's-
Sorry, before you go on that. That
Please.
he told Walter Hill that his idea was to bang 2 dead pigeons together. Yeah, Walter Hill wasn't up for that, so he came up with the bottles. But I think it was the right decision because that is.
Fucking hell.
But yeah,
I know how.
Warriors!
Fucking Pigeon Street.
Fucking hell! I mean, that says so much about this guy, doesn't it?
well, yeah.
it really
I
does.
think if I had to name one performance out of the whole film, it's him.
Oh, yeah.
Cyrus.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's...
No, agreed.
For me, it's probably joint between him and the guy that plays Cyrus. It really is.
Yeah.
They head to the beach, followed by the rogues. Why did you waste Cyrus? No reason. I just like doing things like that. And you're kind of like, what? Swan challenges Luther to... I've written Luthor here. Hey, Mr. Luthor. to a one-on-one. And when he pulls a gun, Swan throws a knife right at his wrist.
He screams like a
but here
bitch.
come the Grandmassy riffs. 50 or so of them. The boss approaches the warriors. You looking for us? We found what we're looking for. You warriors are good. Real good. We're the best. And I was like, mate, fucking back out while you can. Do not fuck with these motherfuckers that killed your fucking...
One of them's got nunchucks. One's got nunchucks.
Oh, did you see nunchucks? Did you?
Aye.
It's fun.
And one had a stick with a nail in it.
Oh, did you? What if someone comes at us with a stick with a nail through it? The rest is ours. They make way for the warriors to pass, and then they close in on the rogues. It looks really good.
Yep.
We see the DJ. For that group having such a hard time getting home, all we can do is play you a song. And the song, of course, is In the City by the fantastic Joe Walsh. Freeze frame on the beach. Love a freeze frame, by the way, boys. Love a freeze frame.
I want to know
Joe
who
Walsh, what do we know him from?
I've got notes on that. I should know that. No. Do you know?
He plays the solo from Hotel California.
Yes, no, I did read that.
The brilliant solo in Hotel California, which is probably my favourite solo of all time.
And didn't he co-write
that
as
well?
Eagles. The Hotel California.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. But also, I fucking hate the Eagles, man. I mean, I don't. I fucking love the Eagles. But
love the quote.
The dude abides. Great film. That's the movie. I've got loads of other stuff, but Paul... in fact, let's go John. What have you got?
Yeah, so I've got, as of 2020, the Wonder Wheel's the oldest continuous operating ride in Coney Island. Lawrence Gordon also produced another 48 Hours in K-Pax. Fan favourite. No.
Oh, fuck off, K-Pax. A film I've never watched, but I might watch for this podcast just for the lols.
This was Brandon Lee's favourite film.
What? Why wasn't that in the fucking Crow podcast when we got all 3 things?
I know. The Warriors quotes were made of plastic.
I mean, did he watch that bit where it's pissing it down and go, it has to stop raining sometimes?
That's probably why he put the face paint on. That's probably his idea. The Warriors coats were made of plastic, PVC. Plastic, very cheap, remember that?
They look awesome, though. Again, I looked on eBay.
I know, they really do.
One.
They really do. And I was looking at the biggest gangs in America. So, biggest gang members per capita in California, Nevada, Idaho, New Mexico, and Illinois.
Crips.
And that's me. Crips and Bloods.
I thought it might be Crips and Bloods.
That's me. I haven't got I've done most of mine, but yeah, there was a big thing I found out quite late on in the day that Walter Hill wanted Orson Welles to do the spoken word intro to this.
Oh, the narration. Yeah.
Yeah, it cost too much, but the Muppet Orson Welles the same year was in a Muppets movie, so they obviously offered him the big money. Don't even know what that is, but he was in it.
And doing an advert for fucking frozen peas.
Yeah.
Paul, if you've not seen that YouTube video, by the way,
Awesome
the
Wheels.
audio of him doing the pissed off, doing the frozen peas, and absolutely off his fucking tits doing the champagne advert. Again, another thing I will send you. I'm making notes of champagne, Orson, and Samuel Adams Jackson. Okay.
So yeah, that was my other big fact.
Right,
Yeah.
Cool. I've got a few here. Coney Island is home to the New York Aquarium, which is shut today, according to their website, because of quote-unquote inclement weather, which I think is code for a turf war, possibly.
It's up to the date facts, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Right.
$29.95 for adults and $25 for kids. Seems a bit fucking dear, just to watch the Warriors fight. Nathan's Hot Dogs is in Coney Island and hosts the World Hot Dog Eating Championship. Won last year by, honestly his real name, Joey Chestnut. He ate 62 and didn't shit right for a week. By the way, when was the last time, listeners, you heard a Bad Santa reference on a podcast? And don't say at Christmas for Bad Santa. Love and hate this fact equally. Transplanted from the Philippines to New York's famous Coney Island amusement park in 1905, a band of Iragote headhunters went on to tour the United States, performing mock tribal ceremonies and consuming dog meat for millions of curious and horrified Americans. God, I missed so much here. Van Cortlandt Park, 1.146 acres of parkland in the Bronx. It's the third largest park in New York City. The forest in what is now Van Cortlandt Park has been around for 17,000 years. Sol Yurick's book was written in 1965 and has been picked up by Lin-Manuel Miranda for a stage musical adaptation. Gramercy Park, the park itself is tiny, it's 2 acres and is a gated park for residents only, but the whole neighbourhood is called Gramercy Park. Famous residents have included Uma Thurman, John Steinbeck and Chelsea Clinton. It's referred to in Soylent Green as the only tree sanctuary left in New York. Soylent Green, by the way, I'd love to do that. The film trucks were protected by a gang called the Mongrels for $500 a day.
Why couldn't they have just got the mime artists to do that for free, as they were about?
I know, just stand there, scared there's a force field in it. Oh, can I get there, a force field?
On roller skates.
I wouldn't be too scared of them. The 14th Street Union Square station, as it's called, 9 lines across 3 levels. It's the 4th busiest station in New York City Subway. And pretty sure I'm down to the last. If you wanted to take the route today, boys and listeners, I'm really sorry, this is really boring. Skip forward 30 seconds if you want. Likely without any fires on the tracks, but it is America 2024, so who knows? There's probably a lot of fires on the tracks. Van Cortlandt Park. You get a bus at Jerome Avenue to East Gun Hill Road, 1 stop, which is 3 minutes to Jerome Avenue at Bainbridge, a 1-minute walk to Woodlawn on the Green Line 4 towards Crown Heights / Utica Avenue, it's an Albany expression, 18 minutes and 11 stops, change for the 161 Street and Yankee Stadium, take the D, Orange Line to Coney Island, Stillwell Avenue, 1 hour, 8 minutes and 25 stops, and in total today it will take you 1 hour and 48 minutes. And that is the really boring bit of the podcast.
That is the shittest remake ever, isn't it?
It is, yeah. But John got to take the D, so he was quite happy.
Always on the D, the big man. Gas of champions.
Paul, how many facts do you think we got?
Well, you just threw in about another 10 on top of what we had, didn't you? So I reckon we've definitely done 101. I reckon we're around. I always get this totally wrong, but I reckon we're around 113.
John won't even get a guess. Paul, you're wrong. It was 97.
Oh, I thought they were flowing
it's
today.
The worst result of facts that we've done since you came on. You fucking loser.
See, that always happens. You always say like I'm some sort of
97.
grime expert, and then
some sort of grime expert. Listen, some sort of drill hero.
Grime time.
You're not fucking coming back on. John, can you just scratch the calendar where he's coming on to talk about Rutger Hauer next month, please?
Done.
I
Gone.
really appreciate that. Yeah. Fuck off, prick. Right, okay. Paul, I will allow you one last opportunity to shill your fucking wares.
Yeah, just Evil Genius Artworks on Instagram and Etsy if you want to find any of my comics and prints and stuff like that. Yeah, be more than happy.
And if you like this shit, because nobody does, but if you do like this shit, Paul was talking RoboCop, Rambo First Blood, a couple of Death Wishes, didn't you? You did Death Wish 2, Death Wish 3.
Yeah.
Was that it? I think that's probably it. That's what we've done so far. So you've done 4
No,
or 5
you didn't.
episodes.
You didn't invite me to
know
Death
what it
Wish
is.
1, which I've never forgiven you for. I only did
Well,
2
we
and
didn't even know
3.
you existed, mate. And actually, I think after this, we might fucking forget you exist as well.
If you actually look at my, I don't think I've ever done the 101. I think it's just a myth that I'm good at this.
No, we did like 120
On Death Wish,
Death Wish
yeah,
2.
that was
Death
my
Wish.
first one.
Yeah, and then you were like, oh, fucking hell, I've got fucking loads left, mate. Oh, fucking hell. I've got loads. I spent fucking 6 weeks doing a list about the fucking soundtrack of Death Wish 2.
Why do I sound
But
like
then
a
he got too
fucking
pissed- he
Cockney
got too
chimney
pissed.
sweep?
Because you're from south of Nottingham and you also...
Oh God, like Danny Dyer.
Mate, I can't believe we didn't have you on for Football Factory.
I know.
What? You did Football Factory without me.
We
Last
got
time he
Gib
did.
Belson,
Last time he.
who is actually a member of the Headhunters.
Well, that's probably got more statistics than me then. But you said you were going to do the business and invite me, and you never did.
Oh, we will. Yeah, we will. I'm just typing this up on my invisible typewriter. Fucking
I understand.
business, Jesus. Yeah. No, that's right up our street. Yeah. Thanks, Paul. It's always a pleasure.
I love it.
Listeners, if you like what we do and you want to get a shout out, you want to fucking abuse this prick here that comes on every now and again, you can do so for a quid. Give us a quid, it's well worth it. And you can hear me reading gay porn, apparently, which honestly, I'm not going to lie, I pretended I hated it. I wouldn't mind if it was competently written. I would have loved every minute of it, but it was shit.
Oh,
It
son.
was shit. But yeah, if you want to do that, it's patreon.com/100 things film, or go to 100 things we learned from film.co.uk, and you can follow us on all the socials. John, final words for the listeners.
Can you dig it? Because it doesn't get said enough. Can you dig?
And we'll be back next month with Monster March. Loads of podcasts do this, so we're going to fucking do it for once. Monster March, we're going to do films with monsters in it. I'll kill your monster. I'll kill your monster. We're not doing fucking whatever that film was. Yeah, so we're not doing that. But yeah, we'll do other things. Paul, as always, namaste, mate. Always a fucking pleasure.
I love it.
Listeners, until the next time, he's been Paul, he's been John, I've been Planty, and it's been excruciatingly close to 100 things we learned, 97 things we learned from the Warriors. I can dig it! See ya.
See you guys.